Okay, so as many of you know, there's often a theme that I come with to these sessions. And I just got back from about a week away. I started my week with a couple of nights at the monastery and retreat, so that was really quiet. And then I kind of hit the ground running the last, 5 nights of my stay and did amazing visits and running around and stayed with my dear friend Viv and started to notice my energy drop towards the end there. And, just other things kind of came up in the last couple of days that were a little stressful. And I noticed how much I did not want to meditate. When I'm kind of depleted and stressed and feeling a bit yucky. And so I thought what we would do is practice today. I'm just going to mute. Can you mute yourself, Connie? I can try to do it
Oh,
here, but it might be easier for you. Just here. Thank you so much.
mm, oh shoot.
I
Am I
can do
there?
it. I think I can do it. Oh, you did it. Okay, perfect. Thanks. Um, Yesterday morning, I reminded myself that there are techniques that I actually really find enjoyable and calming and relaxing. Different for me, perhaps, than for you. But I thought that what we could do is just just mention Shinzen Young has this acronym ION. He says, like, how do I know what to practice? So you can decide out of interest, opportunity, or necessity. And I felt like my choices the last couple of days were made more out of necessity. If I was going to meditate at all, it had to be something that, worked for the state that I was in. So what I propose to do is share kind of the techniques that I tend to cycle through when I'm in that place. And if you, as always, have something that you wanted to focus on in particular, you're welcome to do that. But I'll guide us through 3 techniques. And if you are really enjoying one of them, just feel free to stay there. You don't have to cycle through all 3. And when we settle in for this practice, you might choose to be sitting on a cushion, upright, in a chair, lying down, and that's something to bear in mind as well. If you're really feeling a little challenged, you want to lie down during a practice, you want to do it walking the dog, in the shower, we can just kind of broaden our idea of even how our body should be placed. So I would just, this isn't really a technique yet, but I often bring my attention to my breath to begin. My breath is often challenged. That's kind of a familiar symptom of my anxiety is, so I try to bring this attention to my breath with this very welcoming, curious, like just warm attention. And there is a way of breathing that can really help us support the nervous system to trigger the parasympathetic branch, and that is to slow and lengthen the exhalations. Breathing in and out through the nose, if that's available for you, we'll just notice the inhale as it's happening naturally, and then invite the exhale to very gently slow and lengthen. Nothing forced, not much effort. And let's move into a technique that in unified mindfulness, Shinzen system, he calls feel rest. we're going to try to notice or find where in the body we're experiencing neutrality or relaxation and hold our attention there for a short time. Soak into it. Short time being maybe 5, 10 seconds, maybe longer if you're really absorbed into that experience. You could use the label rest. You feel like labeling would be helpful. That could be silent in your mind or out loud. You could use your own label, calm, or quiet, tranquil. And then you, when you feel ready, can release the attention from that place, freely float it through the body. See where else you detect it. Zoom in that place. Soak it in. And repeat. This is a bit challenging. This can really help develop our concentration skill because we're looking to contact the more subtle. In terms of sensations in the body, we're often used to our attention going to more active, more intense sensations. If you're not contacting much in the way of neutral or relaxed places in your body, you could try to cultivate it. If you notice there's tension, for example, in your shoulders, you could invite it to soften. You could also zoom out and include the entire body to relax. Now, there may be some very subtle movement or sensations that you're noticing in the place you're focusing on, but what we're really trying to appreciate is that more thinned out, neutral aspect. If the part of the body that we're focusing on is very neutral, we might just experience a sense of space. For example, at the earlobes. If the mind is busy, if there are sensations in the body, especially those that are unpleasant, that are tugging at your attention, try to just let those be in the background. Nothing needs to be different. Nothing needs to stop. But we're choosing to bring the physical experience of this restfulness into the foreground of our attention. If the experience of restfulness, tranquility spreads throughout the entire body, you might notice that it's available globally, that it's even available when more active sensations are present. It's like we're contacting the rest that's just underneath. That may or may not be available. As long as we're noticing this neutrality, this relaxation in the body, somewhere we're doing the technique perfectly. Could be just in the toes. So we're going to, if you feel like shifting, transition to a different technique. Feel free to stay here with rest if you're finding that very rewarding and interesting. This next technique is do nothing, sometimes called just sitting. With the feel rest technique, we were intentionally looking to contact restfulness in the body. So we had narrowed our attention to the body, looked for this particular quality, focused on it, soaked it in, lots of intention. With do nothing, the only instruction is to notice if we have an intention to focus our attention. And if we notice that intention, let it go. There is nothing in our focus range. This can be a bit like a free fall. And that might mean the mind gets very busy and squirrely, bounces around. Might mean we get kind of sleepy and lost in thought. We let all of that just happen. Don't try to correct anything. Try to guide your experience. This is like a letting go of control of the attention. If there's some confusion about what should be happening or not happening, what does it mean to have an intention? How do I catch it? You can let go of the need to know or understand. That's kind of an intention in and of itself. confusion is present, we don't need to interfere with that or fix it. You may notice some reward states, spontaneity, some playfulness, sense of relief, joy, love. You can enjoy those states if they're available without needing to cling to them, intend to reproduce them. Let whatever happens happen. If you notice that your attention seems to be going somewhere, for example, to the breath, or starts focusing on something that you usually focus on in meditation, and you let go of the intention for that to happen, but it continues, well, that's not your intention. It's just happening. Meditation is just happening. And if the mind is all over the place, the attention, pleasant, unpleasant thoughts, being pulled to sounds, the eyes are open, the gaze may wander. We let all of that happen. So the last technique in this sequence is one called Feel Good in Shinzen system. Can really be any positivity practice. With Feel Good, we're noticing the sensations in the body related to positive emotions, the feeling of happiness, joy, gratitude, creativity, inspiration. But in order to cultivate a positive emotion, we may use the thinking mind. Maybe it's already present for you. Maybe it's just there. Positive emotion. It might be subtle, that still counts. If it's not then we can use the mental talk space of the thinking mind or mental image or both to compose thoughts that we feel will result in a positive emotion. And we can take a moment to contemplate, what do I feel like I need now? Do I need self-compassion or gratitude or calm? That may or may not be clear. Doesn't need to be. But if, for example, I feel like I could benefit from some calm or peace, I might visualize my favorite little island that I paddle over to, myself enjoying the water, the view, the trees. I feel like I need compassion for myself, and I perhaps might have words of support or a prayer, a mantra. We can keep this very simple, a single word, a single image. Be more complex, can replay a memory from the past, hear dialogue. Whatever works. Using the mind until we feel like a positive emotion is present. And then we drop the attention into the body to notice, to focus on perhaps where it's showing up, how it's showing up. And we stay with those sensations till they fade. Unlike feel rest, we don't release the attention and find it somewhere else unless that feels interesting. We just stay soaked into it. It could feel like an opening in the heart space, a brightening. It can feel like little smiles throughout the body or on the face. A fine vibratory flow. if accessing this positivity doesn't feel very available in this moment, in the spirit of the theme of our practice today, you may choose to return to feel rest or do nothing or any other practice that you feel drawn to or be best supported by. But once we decide, try to stay with that practice. We don't want to get into hopping around too much. If you've caught a stable wave of positivity in the body, you might feel that spread to each and every cell, maybe even spread beyond the physical boundary of your body to benefit those around you, friends, family, loved ones, people in your communities, people on this call, entire populations, all beings, animals, plants, insects, birds, fish. But again, that's not available. That's perfectly fine. Okay, so as we wrap up the final little bit here, you can open your eyes, they're closed, maybe even keep a bit of contact to your practice as we transition out of the guidance.